Whoa, what up, people? How are you doing tonight? I am the Godless Engineer, and tonight is the prologue for my game stream. We will be going over some secular news, although I do highly suggest that you go and you check out my game stream after this. I will be giving away a Borderlands PC Steam code for you to use. I have two of them. Whoa, what up, people? Crap. How are you doing tonight? So, I'm gonna be giving out this Steam key if you would like it. So, what you've got to do is comment on the live stream on my gaming channel that we are going to switch to. The link is just so happens to be down below in the it happens to be down below in the description. But tonight, to get to our lovely stories, first up, of course, we're going to be talking about how Americans seem to be praying less and why we think that. But tonight, the first up, we have a Texas guy, this guy right here. He has apparently found fossils from Noah's flood. Damn it, hold on. Okay, so apparently this guy has found these fossils, which he is just randomly saying are fossils from the flood of Noah. Now, one reason why he might be saying this is because of the fact that a lot of people seem to think that the Noah's flood is the best explanation we have for fossils. They seem to think that fossils can be made relatively easily through a flash flood. Let's see. According to a Wayne post, he was replacing soil in his aunt's yard when he made the fossilized snail shells, which he believes dates back to Noah's flood. Of course it does, because you're obviously a Christian. So why else would you think different? I mean, it's quite obvious that fucking water splurted up from underneath you and opened from the heavens and just flooded the earth and covered it all. Never mind, there's no way for that water to go anywhere. Never mind that in order for the water to for it to rain for that much and to cover that much of the earth, that you would literally drown just trying to breathe the air. The air would be so humid. So it really just seems like he just found these fossils and is like, oh look, they're fossils from Noah's flood. He went on to say, who else can say they have a front yard full of Noah's dirt? Noah's dirt? What church are you going to? The Church of Ken Ham? Which is kind of interesting to bring that up, because Ken Ham is one of those proponents that says that you can make fossils relatively quickly through the use of a really big flood. And never mind the fact that there are different types of fossilizations. These types of fossilizations don't occur over the same amount of time. Some of them take a lot more time than others. What he probably found in his front yard was indeed fossils. Of course, they were fossils, but at the same time, they weren't from Noah's fucking flood. That's just ridiculous. But the next story that we have is Ken Ham. Now, I kind of promoed tonight with, why Ken Ham needs to stop doing Twitter. Like, why does Ken Ham need to have his Twitter taken away? Of course, a lot of you are going to be like, well, of course he needs his Twitter taken away. The man is crazy as shit. But it's kind of interesting to actually see the craziest shit comments as he makes them on Twitter. If you guys don't remember, Kenny Boy, he recently stated, which apparently I deleted my title, not my goddamn thing right there. Um, Recently, Ken Ham stated that Cosmos was actually promoting atheism to school age kids. Like Cosmos has some kind of religious overtones to it in order for you to pray to the nothing of atheism. Like Ken Ham literally thinks that atheism is some kind of religion, that we have some kind of universal set of beliefs that everybody fucking follows in the secular movement, and you know, you're not an atheist unless you follow these particular rules. And it's quite ridiculous for him to think that in general. And you know, he attacked Cosmos, which he's done before. He doesn't like Cosmos. He doesn't like Neil deGrasse Tyson. He doesn't like science in general. But here recently, he's taken to Twitter and said some more, like, really just stupid, ridiculous shit. Okay, the atheist religion, yeah, and that's what religion, and that's what it is. Religion is intolerant of Christianity as they worship nature and shake their fist at God. Oh, God, I'm so mad at you. The God that I don't believe in. The God, I mean, first of all, you've got to believe in a fucking God in order for you to shake your fist at it. Well, if we're shaking our fist at anybody, Ken, we're shaking our fist at you. You know why we might be shaking our fist at you? Well, how about the fact that your park is getting a mini golf? Your park is getting a mini golf. Like, not Art Park, but the Creation Museum. You're putting in a mini golf place, and the pure fact that you have enough people that come and visit the fucking Creation Museum in order to gain some kind of knowledge, in order for you to put in a fucking mini golf, is ridiculous. The amount of people that you spread your lies to, and that's what they are. They are lies, because you directly just toss out. You just toss out the fucking window genuine science in order for you to stay within your own little echo chamber of bullshit beliefs. And that's what they are. When you go directly against what we know objectively from science, like, we know that the earth wasn't just 6,000 years old, not because we read it in a goddamn book, but because we can take soil samples, and, you know, we can date the soil samples back either by the fossils that are around it, or we can take, different types of deep time dating. You know, it's just ridiculous that people visit your Creation Museum in a serious manner and give you enough money to merit a fucking mini golf. I think that you should be happy that you have enough money to put in a mini golf course at the Creation Museum, okay? I think that you should be happy about that. But no, you're not happy about that, because you got to say that atheism is in fact a religion, which it's not. It's just a disbelief in your fucked up crazy ways. And then you're saying that we're intolerant of Christianity. No, we're not just intolerant of Christianity. Atheism, if you had to say that atheism was intolerant of anything, which atheism isn't, people are, but let's grant you this whole idea that atheism is intolerant of it. We welcome, I say that it's not intolerant because we welcome any kind of evidence that you can bring, but you don't have any fucking evidence to give us. Kind of odd how that works. But we don't worship nature. We don't. We acknowledge the role that nature has in getting us to our current state. We acknowledge evolution. We acknowledge basic fucking science. That's what we acknowledge. There's no reason to think that that atheists worship nature. Those that worship nature are more along the lines of pagans. They believe in gods of the wind, gods of the forest, gods of the earth. They believe in Gaia and all that kind of stuff. I mean, those are the kind of people that actually worship nature. And then if you think that I start my day by going out on my front lawn, shaking my fist up in the air, like, damn you, God, for remembering to wake me up, you're just deluding yourself. But he had that tweet, and then he had this tweet Most skeptics attacking the Bible regurgitate what they've been taught, re evolution, etc., as they really can't think logically for themselves. Really can. Because last I checked, you actually run like a Bible bee. Like that's what Ken Hemet Mehta reports in his little expose on you here for this particular tweet, this particular pile of bullshit. You promote a Bible bee where children are told to memorize and recite Bible verses as a way to indoctrinate them into your faith, as a way to further their indoctrination and get those Bible verses drilled into their heads. Don't mind thinking critically, because guess what? The Bible hates thinking critically and logically. I mean, how can you honestly think that it's logical for a fucking snake to convince a woman to eat a fruit? We don't know if it was an apple or not, but I mean, how is that logical? How is it logical that the only way that God can undo the bullshit that he did is by coming down here and making sure that he dies and sheds blood for us, thereby causing some crazy woman on the side of the highway to scream, "The blood of Jesus! The blood of Jesus!" And she thinks that she actually helped people get a man out of a burning vehicle. That's what this delusion that you're pushing there, Ken, is. And, atheists actually do think critically. I mean, we think critically of our beliefs. I mean, we think critically of claims. Just because we already know what claims you're going to bring at us, and we outright reject them because they're so overly used and overly debunked that it quite literally just takes a quick Google search or an internet search in general, and anybody can refute it. Anybody. Fucking literally anybody can. But you want to say that atheists are the ones that can't logically think for themselves when you regularly teach that plants can exist before sunlight. That you don't need sunlight in order for plants to survive. Nah, fuck that, right? That doesn't make logical sense for plants to exist after the sun. Fuck that shit. It's not logical for animals to adapt over time and after a while they turn into different species. That's just stupid. That's not logical. I mean, it's not logical to think that when you go to a store and you pick up $1 items, I mean, if you pick up $100 100 items, it's not going to equal $100 right there, Ken? Please. I don't think that you need to lose your Twitter. It's kind of like unsolicited advice from Godless Engineer. Put down the Twitter. That's what you need to do. I'm not saying it should be taken away from you. I think that that you just need to put it down, because all you're doing is making a fool out of yourself by regurgitating the same shit that you have just uncritically looked at and are just spouting everywhere. What you're doing is spreading ignorance, and that's why you need to put down Twitter. And so I don't think that we need to take away Twitter. I'm just advising you that you need to step away from Twitter, because you're doing more harm to society than you're doing good. And I realize that you think that you're doing good. I realize that you genuinely think that what you're doing is for the good of mankind. I'm telling you, though, when you go against science like you do, when you go against objective reality as we know it, as objective as we can get, not purely objective, obviously, but I'm saying that as objective as we can look at reality, when you go against that and you don't have the evidence to back it up, and then you still believe it, you still push it as true, you're doing more harm than you are doing good. Oh yeah. And guess what? There's a billboard right now that apparently an atheist group wants to put up, and it's mocking the Noah's Ark. I highly suggest you finding the link and and donating to it, because what they're going to be doing is putting up these billboards all around Kentucky, and they're like, however much money they get, they're going to be doing different things with it. And so that'll be in the description after I get done with the next story, which is our headliner tonight. And that headliner would be prayer. A recent study has shown that fewer Americans are praying. And I have to say, for it to go down, prayer shows that we're kind of, we're starting to move away from religion in our society, and I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing that people are starting to come to the realization that prayer doesn't work. It says in Dan Arl's write up here, it says 5 times as many as Americans in 2014 reported they never pray as did Americans in the early 1980s, and nearly twice as many said they did not believe in God. So what we have here is a noticeable trend leaving organized religion, leaving this dogma, right? We see an an effort to come to the reality that prayer doesn't work. Begging for prayer, saying, "Oh, we'll pray for you," doesn't actually have an effect. And I want to really emphasize something here, and that would be the importance of online activism, or you resharing, reposting, whatever, memes that are critical of prayer, that point out the fact that a million hands clasped in prayer don't do anything next to one pair of hands working. That's because when you pray, you're only making yourself feel better. And that's good, I guess. I mean, you're making yourself feel better, but when you're praying for your friend's dead child because they died because they were kidnapped and raped, I mean, all you're doing is making yourself feel better. I mean, that's literally all you're doing. You're making yourself feel better. You're not helping. It's not like you're coming to the person like, "How can I help? Like, do you need money? Do you need me to come over and fix a nice pot roast or something?" Who knows how you can help? But just knowing that you're there to physically and actually help is so much better than saying, "I'll pray for you," because you might as well say, "Aw, I wish I could help. I really do. I really wish I could help. But you know what? I'm too lazy to fucking help." What I'm going to do for you, though, is I'm going to psychically transmit my thoughts up to the Sky Daddy, and hopefully he'll have mercy on your soul and your family, and he'll get you through this time. Otherwise, you're fucked. I'm sorry. God has deemed you unworthy. Maybe you should go jump off a cliff. uh, and, for those people that pray for atheists to come to Jesus, that's just saying, "Hey, I don't like the fact that you have a different opinion than me. I don't like the fact that, you don't believe that you're going to be going to heaven, and that doesn't scare you into doing things my way. So why don't you just believe what I believe? Go ahead and do that. I'm gonna pray to my God that you'll do that. He'll make sure it happens because hashtag God, right? Um, and we'll be good and rosy, right?" That is all that when somebody asks you to, asks to pray for you, or says, "I'm gonna pray that you find Jesus." I mean, that's literally just them wanting you to have their position. You can't have anybody else's position. You have to have their position, and that's just being a dick. It's being a dick to people, and I think that you just need to stop with that. I mean, it's not like I'm sitting here saying, "Hey, you don't need to be Christian." I sit here and say, "Hey, your arguments are fucked beyond recognition. You need to get better arguments." That's all I say. I don't say, "Hey, you don't need to believe in God." On a personal level, I really don't care what people believe. But if your belief causes you to hide a pedophile and allow him to go like 30 years or so raping and molesting people, then maybe you need a new set of beliefs. I mean, I'm just saying. That's like that's more unsolicited advice from me. And to all of you out there that are atheists, and are struggling with family members that want you to hide who you are, that want you to, that don't want you to be atheists, and they really push it hard on you not to be an atheist or not to be an outspoken atheist. What I want you to do is I want you to stand up for yourself. I want you to stand your ground. I don't want you to bend to their whim. I'm not saying that you that I'm not saying you have to do that in order for me to like you or anything like that. This is more unsolicited advice from me. I think that you need to stand your ground. I think that you need to stand up for yourself. You don't need to hide who you are. You don't need to hide the fact that you are a rational and reasonable person. And I mean, personally, I don't think that you need to back down from people that are gonna force you to, or make you feel bad for being an atheist, that are gonna sit there and call you immoral, that are gonna sit there and yell at you for not believing in the same God. I think that you need to stand your ground. I'm not saying get belligerent with people or whatnot. Just don't concede. And that's if you can do that. I mean, there are people out there that can't do it, that are in a position to where if they did do it, they would be in some serious shit. And I think that you just need to evaluate your own situation. You need to determine, well, if I do this, then I'm living under the bridge down by the water. I'm living in a van down by a water. But I think that you just need to evaluate your situation, and if you can stand up for yourself, if you can stand up and be accounted for as an atheist, not let the religious majority really push you around. I think that if we do that in a concerted effort, that is really, really going to send a message. It's going to start sending a message to people that we aren't just going to be silent. Like, we aren't going to be your doormats anymore. We aren't. And if we start standing up for ourselves, if we start vocalizing ourselves, if we start being the people that we want to be, if we start doing that, then people will start taking notice. It will start getting more normalized. It will send a signal to the religious population that we're a significant population of this country. We have opinions. Our opinions matter. We matter as people. And I think that if we just simply stand up for ourselves, not being belligerent, but just standing up and saying, no, I'm not going to hide myself. No, I'm not going to hide who I am. I think that just doing that is going to do wonders for not only the secular movement, for the secular community, but for America in general, for acceptance of atheists everywhere. I think that if we do that in a concerted effort, that will happen. And just to reiterate, I understand that some people out there can't, but I just think that if you can, you should. And that's what motivated me to create my Facebook page. That's what motivated me to start making videos on YouTube. It's what motivated me to really start trying to be an example, a strong example for other people to look upon and not feel afraid to be an atheist. I don't want people to be afraid to say, I don't believe in God. And there's that whole lead by example thing. And while I may have, I've got my own demons in my demons in my past, but just being an example to people, letting people know that it's okay to be an atheist is what's important to me. And if any of you out there are actually struggling with this, I encourage you to comment. Let people know that you indeed are too struggling with this. That let other people know that they're not alone. And I think that we just need to really find community with each other. We need to find a community, where we can support each other, where we're not just islands upon ourselves, where we're not just isolated from each other, and we're not leaving each other out in the wind. That's the one thing that religious people have up on us. That they have this community where they back each other up no matter what they do. You could molest a kid and other religious people will protect you. I mean, that's the level of community that these people have. So I'm not saying that if if somebody out there, if some atheist is molesting a kid, you need to protect them. Obviously not. I'm saying that we just need to support each other. We need to be there for each other, and we need to let each other know that we're not alone. And standing up for yourself, not hiding who you are, I think is a big step in that direction. So, little rant there at the end, but if you will join me over on my GEPlays channel, if you will join me over there, we're going to be playing Borderlands. I'm going to be giving away a free copy of Borderlands 2 for anybody that I feel makes me laugh the hardest in the comment section, regardless of when that happens in the stream. If you've got a Steam account, I can give you the free one. Just let me know. But anyways, join me over there. I hope to see you there. Link is down below for the Borderlands game stream, and I will see you guys over there. Y'all have a nice night, and I guess stand up for yourselves.